Okay, here we are again. And what we're going to be doing is my version of goulash. A lot of people do it different ways. Um, and I'm calling it goulash, not beef goulash, because of course we're using Jenny-O ground turkey today. Why are we using turkey? I'll tell you why. Because it was $2.99 for that package at Acme. So guess what gets replaced? The hamburger. Anyway, it's going to be a simple little goulash. And I'll show you how I do it. So stick around. Okay, in mine, I use medium onion, 1 green bell pepper, diced tomatoes, beef bouillon cube, elbow macaroni, of course, the ground turkey. Oh, and I forgot one thing. Be right back. I also put 1 stalk of celery in mine. A lot of people don't. I do. I like celery. So that goes in there. So how we get started is I'm going to chop up the onion, the pepper, and the celery and get them cooking here in the old Copper Chef. A lot of people brown the hamburger, put in all the tomatoes, all the juice and whatnot, and then cook their vegetables right in there. I like to reduce mine, cook them down, and then put the meat in. I'll show you. In the meantime, we're going to get some water going right there for the macaroni, because that is another thing that I don't do. Most recipes, the people would just throw the macaroni right in with everything once it's mixed up and let it cook right in the juices. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I like to cook mine off to the side, drain it, and then stick it in there. It's a lot less starch in your goulash mixture. You'll see. Just I'll explain as I go. Okay, so I got the onion and the green bell pepper chopped up. I got the water going. I wanted to stop for a second though and tell everybody a little something I learned last night. I don't know how it's going to work. I've always chopped my onions. You just chop off one end, the other end, make your crisscross cuts in there, and then you get, then you dice it up. But I'm sure everybody's experienced when you get toward the end of the onion, gets slippery, parts of it slide out, and it's all over your plate. Then you got to grab little chunks and make them smaller and whatnot. What I learned last night on TV, of course, one of my cooking shows, is that if you leave this hairy end on, don't chop that off. Just chop this, peel it and get your skin off. Chop off just this end. When you dice it, your onion will stay together as long as this is on there. So I'm going to try it. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I chopped that off even. As you can see, I chopped this piece off there, right here. Let's get rid of that over there. It's even on this side. I left the hairy part on. Let's see what happens when I dice it. Look at that. That absolutely 100% worked. I cannot believe it. All these years I've been cutting onions. They always fall apart, slip apart. If you guys have cut onions, you know what I'm talking about. Just leave the hairy end on. And the reason I call it the hairy end is because that's what she called it. I was watching Worst Cooks in America, and Amber said, hey, the correct way to cut an onion is leave the hairy end on, and it will not fall apart. She didn't lie. You're never too old to learn something, I'll tell you that much. I'll never cut another onion any other way. Okay, because I only have one hand to work with, I stopped that. I put cracked black pepper on here. I figure season them while they're on the plate. Then when I put them in the pan here, we can just start sweating them down. Now that's olive oil. I put a little bit of olive oil in it just to get them started, because these have plenty of moisture in them. Once they get started with a lid on, they'll sweat down and turn translucent all on their own. And that's when we'll add the ground turkey in. Okay, we got those in the pan. Come on, focus. We got those going. Our water for the macaroni is going. We're going to put that down here in a second. I'm quite sure this will probably be a two-part video because I'm going to run out of room, but you just get these in here. Your onions, peppers, and celery, get those in there and get them going. Put the lid on, let them start to sweat. Okay, the macaroni's in. These are looking good. You know what always makes this cooking go better? One of those right there. No, you don't put that in the food. You know where you put that? You put that right in your belly. Okay, now unlike my simple vegetable soup where I sweat these all the way down to where they're like completely translucent, we're not going to do that all the way with these because we want that ground turkey to cook in there with those. So I'll give it a couple more minutes, let these soften up just a little more, and then we'll put the ground turkey in. Get that browned up, and then our tomatoes and stuff will go in. I'll show you. Okay, anytime you get some meat like this, it's in a package and it's laid out like in you know, the ribbons like that. Just take a knife, butter knife like I did, score across there a bunch of times, because what that'll do is when you put it in the pan to start cooking it, it'll break up so much easier and brown a lot quicker. Okay, see how those have turned? Let's see if we can get it to focus. Now is when we're going to add the meat to it. Like I said, they don't have to be completely translucent. Just sweat them down a little bit, and then you put the meat in. Okay, there's what it looks like with the meat in. We're going to put the lid on this, let that stuff brown up. Then we're going to add our tomatoes, the beef bouillon cube. See, we're not seasoning this too much. Your flavor is going to come from them, from your peppers, onions, and celery. When you sweat them down like that, it really brings the flavors out. A little cracked pepper, like I say, the beef bouillon is going to add to the flavor, and then the tomatoes and tomato sauce. Like I say, this may not be like other people's. This is my version of it, but it turns out great. And there we go. We got the ground turkey all browned up, and look at the peppers, onions, and celery. See how nicely they reduced some more. Man, this is smelling so good. I wish you could smell it. Okay, so next we're going to put in the tomatoes, the tomato sauce, and the beef bouillon. Okay, first can. Pow, just like that.